Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Hey, get it? Tick tock, tick tock. It's funny how that as a platform. What does it mean by unity? What does it mean by consciousness? What does it mean by together? What does it mean by one? What does it mean by allness through its condition? What does it mean to you? It's time to unite. It's time to get together. It's time to form everything in position. Okay. Timing is the essence, and it's here and now. We have to get into this position so we can come back to who we are from all connections of light. That's what it's all about, right? It's to understand that position. Perseverance, never give up. I sent a very powerful TikTok about moving forward. Okay, never give up, always moving forward. Push, 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 push. And that's what you have to do. You got to push down those barriers, you got to push through those walls, just keep pushing. And eventually everything will surface. All right. But it's got to come from the mind. And the mind has to understand its acceptance. It has to understand what is happening to me. How can I move forward? How can I understand time positions? Time capacitor line connections is interchanging interlocking divisions. You're in one central line of a universe that's in one point center line digital line connection. So all the atmospheres and the trap doors are now in a new position to an activation to body track line connection, which is fantastic because now we're opening up more doors into the sequencing line systems. Understand how the universal works through computer and everything through operations center. It's amazing how we come into these, right? Because it's all about time capacitors. It's all about your altimeters. What's an altimeter? What is a time frame? Okay, what is a frequency frame location center line system? What's allocated positions at time location? You have to understand how to travel through dimensions and portals and realms, because once you come a spiritual system, you're everything through space and time of its system. Understand? When you get up in the morning and you go to work, right? You have your coffee, you have your breakfast, you get in your car, you know how to work your car, you know how to drive your car, you know the mechanisms of the car. It's the same thing. You're learning the physical line conditions. Well, now you're going to understand the spiritual system and how it works through the same thing. So think of your car as a way of traveling. Think of it as a way of going through dimensional time. Think of it a way as going through time position, time capacitor positions. Put in your altimeters and put into your fluctuation interference. Fluctuation interference through conditions, which is your trifactors to your shapes. Your shapes have to truly understand how to connect and always informs. That's the most important thing. You have to understand your conditions of what's happening with your body actions and its activation light system. It's also important because you got to come across these every single day to understand how to use the altimeters, how to use anything calculation. With skydivers, they have their altimeters 500 feet and they pull. Okay, and they have their parachute, and if that fails, they have the canopy. So they always have a backup. You have to have a backup too when you're in space anomaly and you're traveling through round connection positions. You can be off cycle and going into an opposite direction, thinking you're going this direction. Why? Because you just change your mind. You can't do that in space. Everything's set up through program setting. Everything's set up through computer operation line system. It's allocated position to your time frame. But once you use those positions and once you travel out of your universal line system, now you're going into another line connection. So it's kind of like I'm in Mexico, I travel to Japan. Okay, so I'm leaving Mexico and I'm traveling to 24 hours on a high frequency line system. Okay, because it'll take 24 hours because it's across the world. So truly understand that you have to understand the altitude, you have to understand the atmosphere, you have to understand the weather, you have to understand the heat, you have to understand the change, you have to understand everything through vibration, you have to understand the heat signature line connections, you have to understand the activity system, you have to understand the community positions. Everything changes when you travel, and it's all done by time frames, time frequencies, time zones. That's how the sun is operated through positions, right? It calculates and modifies everything through your body frame positions. Okay, put you in a calculation of interference channeling. Okay, put you in your channel location interference line systems and allocated positions to your altimeters to understand your connections. It's kind of like you're a compass, right, of time. That's what it is. So think of yourself as a compass. What's inside the compass? Water. So what's inside of you? Water. Okay. So if you see yourself as a compass, you understand everything through balanced position is everything you through time. Okay, because it's all about counter measuring everything that you're doing with your travel recognitions. Okay, it's all about fluctuating your positions and how to use your time frames. How when you're traveling through a wormhole, you want to make sure you cross winning cycles to, spectrum light connections or anything through primal levels. Okay, come into the optimum level system. But truly understand that when we come into that flux capacitor, you truly have to understand everything through acceleration. That's the most important thing, because when you're in the mind system, you are now traveling in space anomaly. Okay, because I've taken my team there on high levels where you have to get into all your senses and what you see, hear, touch, taste, and feel. Everything is a knowing process, but where's the mind in position? So it's all about never give up. Never give up. Always have perseverance, okay? And find a way to see yourself moving forward all the time, every day, 24/7, 7 days a week. Always find a different way to move forward. Always find a different routine to move forward. Always find a different activity to move forward. Always find a different thought to move forward. Okay, so today we're going to get into what you guys calculate and modify through your thoughts, from the positive and negative. How many thoughts did you create in 24 hours? Were they all negative, or were they all positive, or were they up and down? Okay, you know how many negatives I got? Zero. Why is that? Why is that? So to understand that position brings you forward. All right. As soon as you add a negative energy line connections to a digital line system, it changes your vibration line systems to the sun line connections. Every single time you create a negative cycle, it changes the sun of its shape position. Remember I was telling you about when you get XT thousands and it's going to its navigation and it changes shapes positions to its absolute position through its universal line center? Well, it's true to understand, once you change your thought, it changed the sun and the color. It changed the programs of the moon, and it changes everything through the ground line system. It changes everything through your heart. Everything changes just from you, from one thought. And that's how you change everything, because you're attached to everything, which is its alignment. So that's what everybody has to get into. They have to get into their own alignments of understanding how powerful you are inside. It's the magnetic thought. You have to understand how it goes into space of travel. Your connections are everything through its forming system. Okay. So basically, Tina, Jill, how's it going? Morning. Have any questions or comments? Fourth Rising, Grand Rising. If you need any help through healing, just let me know. Go through my email. It's down below. Everything's down below. Also, too, I have a commanded podcast, so I'm going to be set up very soon. I'm just getting a stand. So we'll get into that too. I got voicings. I got 8 platforms. You can check that out. The link is below. Feel free to listen to that. So it's all about how do I bring myself forward? How do I do that? Well, if my thoughts are going forward, everything that I'm doing is going forward. So everything is balanced. If it isn't balanced, then you're changing colorations inside you. You're changing the sun through its TV reception. You're changing the moon through its program positions. And you're changing everything through your navigationary thought positions. Just so you know, you're traveling in space. You just have to know what's happening in space. And the only way to understand that is to understand all levels of your positive and negative systems. Okay, so we come into this position. Okay, we go into the negative, okay, and the positive. All right, positive, negative, negative, positive, doesn't matter. So we got the negative and positive. Okay, don't, will. Okay, and this is energy every single time, right? Won't, could. All right, and then you can come across anything in between. So you can come into maybe, right? Maybe is complicated because you're not sure which side you're going to go on, right? But if you come across don't, if you come across will, if you come across won't, and you come across could, it changes everything. So if you put yourself in the positive system, it's going to override the positions to its maybe, right? And if you take away the negative line conditions, what am I doing? You come into a pyramid rotation, all right? So centralize your connections of point centers, and then you're activated through a center position, and it comes into your travel recognition of time positions into, you guessed it, your tetrahedrons. Okay. See how I took out the negative cycle? And I corrected the positions and changed everything to the maybe, right? So you have to understand how to do these things, okay? First thing that you look at, for example, when I get up in the morning, okay, I'm always moving forward, okay? It's next to impossible for me to go in a negative cycle unless it's something that is happening. If it's happening, there's a glitch. So I have to fix it, go back, right? But I go back and then I go forward again. So, because I'm all in the mind. Once you become all in the mind, that's all you are. So the physical system has its adaptation, it has its cycle, and it has its correction, right? So you have to stand the positions of what's going on, right? With the mind and with the brain, okay? And this is you in the center, okay? So you split that in half. Okay, so you got the positive and you got the negative. Oh, hold on a sec here. Wait a minute. Why is the mind positive and the brain is negative? Why? What do you see in the center? Until the mind and brain come together, until the positive and negative comes back in the center line system, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see in the structure? What do you see in the structure? What do you see in the structure? Still don't see it? An angel. You understand? So, and this is how you bring yourself forward. So it's all about using your imagination into negative cycles. So you take the negative into a positive of a shape, which turns into an angel. And remember everything that you do through connections into coloration, lights, or anything, that energy line system, you can always turn don't, won't, not sure, forget it, no way. You can change it into a structure of an angel. And that will change your positions of your thoughts. That will change your positions of time. And that will put you in the center line connections. Even if it's a maybe. And I say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So how are you going to change I don't know into yes? Instead of, well, yeah, I could, I will, I'll let you know. So this is all comes into the calculation modifications on where your brain is. Okay, once you get the center line connection of the brain and the mind, you come into a structure of an angel. Okay, so you start here. See? So it starts here. Positive and negative, you get the center line and you go higher. See? There's one here, there's one here. It goes higher. It's all structure. So that's how I take myself out of the equation. I draw drawings and like that extremely fast. So I always center myself in connections. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I always find a way to center this position to over here. This is acceleration. This is traveling. This is out of the equation. You start here with the negative. You go into the positive. Here's the angel, right? Basically. And you got to look at that self as you, right? You can basically put yourself in any direction, any structure line connection. You start here and you come up higher, right? See how it goes higher? So it's all about what you want to do is to stand tall. You want to stand tall all the time, okay? So when you stand tall, you come out of the equation from this to this. It's a higher level, isn't it? Right? It's coming out. See? So it's trying to understand how to do these things, and it's all done through the brain. It's all done through the mind. It's all done through the positive. It's all done through the negative, because that's what we live every single day. All right? Every single day we live that. Okay? So, and this is how you have to put yourself in that position, because I go through it too. I go through it too because there's so many levels that I have to not just understand, but understand why I'm doing it. Why am I doing it? Okay, it's not something that I can stop. Okay, something that you're born with. Okay, it's like I can't stop breathing. You can't. You can't stop breathing. It's next to impossible. You have to breathe. You have to breathe. Everybody has to breathe. You can't stop breathing. That's like stopping life. It's like stopping nature from moving forward, changing time, frequency, changing seasons. It's next to impossible to do these things, but they have the balance, and that's what humanity's got to get into. Okay, you have to get into your balance and stand tall on all levels when you come into your positions. From this to this, you can see, right? The acceleration, you can see the levitation. You can see from here to here, right? So, and it's amazing when you come across these things because you do stand tall. And it's amazing how, wow, I'm floating like I wouldn't believe. And I say, well, I can't be touched anymore. But it's a lot of power and a lot of responsibility when you come to those levels. And it's important you understand these things, okay? Because it all starts with all levels of positive and negative. Okay? You come in your tetrahedrons, you come in your connections, all right? So you can basically take anything out of the equation. So you can structure align that system. That's what I do every single time because I can't travel in a negative cycle with UFT coming at me. If they come at me every day, okay, so did you set up the plan line system? I said, no, I haven't. They're going to say, why? I said, I don't know. I'm not sure anymore, right? So they're going to put a reaction in me, right? So what did they do? They upgrade my line system, then they teleport me, you know? So these are the things you have to be aware of. And the thing, if you're not aware of these things, because you're in your light, you have to understand more of yourself because you're in space and you're in time of a timeline, which is 5D. So you have to live the mind now. You live the brain, now you got to live the mind of imagination. If you don't understand these things, it all starts with meditation. You're going to have more reaction to the body, to the physical system, right? So shocking waves, the intelligence. Okay, fine. So you're paying attention, right? Because you got higher intelligence of vibration that's coming into you, right? Especially when you're in lights and you have a lot of power and a lot of responsibility. Okay, you guys are just trying to understand your track lines. You're trying to understand your computer operation line systems. I'm controlling everything through the universe line system now, right? So when you're operating all positions of all computers to all ascensions of space and time positions and putting up new operations of the sun and moon program settings, you know, it's extremely hard to do. It's easy for me to do, but I still have a power and responsibility because I understand these things more and more, right? The structure line, what I have to fix is all about the physical system of understanding you through vibration, right? So somebody came to me and when I was on live on TikTok, what has faced you the most? What's challenging you the most? Humanity. Trying to understand humanity, where they are in their line positions of time. That's why everybody's confused, right? Because they rather live on the negative system. They don't want change. And that's why they don't understand the difference, right? So we have to get into standing tall. We have to get into positions going from this to this, standing tall. Right? Getting out of the negative, getting into the positive. If you're negative, go into the positive. Stay into the center. Okay? So, and this is all done through travel of positions of time. Okay? So it's important we understand that. So how's everybody doing with that? Like, have you wrote down how many thoughts, positive and negatives that you guys connected to? Anybody? Krista, Galactica, Jill, Samantha? What did you guys pick up? It gets easier. If it doesn't get easier, then you have to ask why, right? So you're going to keep fighting the soul of yourself, and you're not going to be able to move forward because you're not standing tall. You're not putting yourself in position. You're not connecting to your ego, a balanced position. And you keep saying, I don't know, maybe, I'll let you know. Unsurety here. What are you sure of? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to live. Pretty idiotic. It's like saying, I don't want to breathe anymore. Pretty stupid, right? So you got to put yourself in positions of balance, people. That's all you need to do. And it's all about moving forward, pushing forward, getting what you want, right? And it's all done through time, because that's all we're living. We're living the existence of the here and now, not the future, not the past, the now. It's the now. Okay? So I couldn't keep an exact count, but I was about 25%. That's pretty good. I collected buckets of thought, very clear when negative thoughts popped. But see, it's interesting when you write it down, then you realize, okay, now how do we correct this? How do we correct it? You have to communicate inside, right? You can't have structured levels outside anymore. You have to communicate with everything inside your thoughts. So you're communicating through your thoughts. Like I was saying, I can't have confusion in the atmospheric positions when UFO line connections come at me and they want me to set up crop circles. And if I don't know what I'm doing, there's a problem. So I've gone way past the mind. You already know that. But when you're in the operations of the universe and the space-time positions, it gets really complicated, you know? How I go into channel line connections on TikTok and how now I'm here, I'm in the clocking line connections to the atmospheric positions to understand the shape positions and how it's operated, right? It's all done through you, through travel. The basic understanding is to put yourself going forward. That's all it is, bringing yourself going forward, having so much perseverance and never, ever, ever giving up. No matter what the consequence is, never, ever, ever give up and keep standing tall. Unite. Okay, get those conscious levels. All right. So my thought has been really, really good because I've been focusing on my inner self, but the negative thoughts happen when I second guess myself, more inner working and knowing. See, that's the thing. Interesting how Samantha comes into that position. That comes into the center line conditions. So what do? You structure line your connections and you draw it out, right? So you come into that connections, right? Where it comes into maybe, right? Everything in life is about moving forward. If you wake up every day, and I'll keep saying this, every time you wake up, where are you in position? Are you bringing yourself forward? Are you not sure? I'll let you know. I'm still confused. I'm frustrated, anxiety. I can't get this. I can't get that. I can't pay my bills. Negative, 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 negative. How are you going to move forward if you keep putting yourself going negative? So you get 75, 80% negative, and at the end of the day, you got a headache and your migraine. You wake up the next day, then what? You're building stress. Don't do that, right? Get into the calm. Take one word at a time. And it all starts with, why am I upset? You have to understand these things because it all calculates, modifies to you through intelligence, through awareness of what's going on with the information inside you. How do I move forward, right? Like I said, a perfect example, if I'm communicating to 26,000 line connections to crop circles of UFO position, and they want me to send up the sun rotation to a clocking line system to another portal dimensional line position, I have to know what I'm doing, right? They're going to keep coming to me every single day, right? Because they know I understand the operation of me and who I am. Okay. So, and that's what it comes down to, guys. And it's the most powerful thing you can have inside your body. It's amazing. It's tremendous. It's electrifying. It's outstanding. It's incredible force that you have inside you. You just have to understand how to get it and stay with it moving forward. So if you're moving forward through the mind, move forward with your thoughts. Okay. But the ego always finds a way to move back And then you get into this conceptual line system of the center line system, and you're not moving forward anymore because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to live. I don't like myself anymore. I'm so worried about myself. I'm never going to get a job. I'm never going to get a relationship. Negative, 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 negative. Why are we playing negatives? That's all in the concept of the conscious mind, which you live the 10% line connections. But you have to understand with Dolores Cannon, you all have the capacity to use 100% of your brain. And that's what we have to get into. The subconscious to the superconsciousness to the higher self. We all have it. We're just not aware because we're delegating too much in the program. Because we don't know otherwise. I don't want to be happy. You know, I mean, that's pretty dumb. You know, you don't want to be happy, but you are happy. So you're not questioning anything about yourself. The worst thing you can do is to question yourself. Why people don't like me? I don't like myself anymore. Why? Why are you putting this on top of everything that's going on with your life? You have your health. You have your looks. Okay? You have everything that you want, and you still don't know why. That's questioning your values. How much are you worth? You are a body temple, okay, of a God, which is a shape anomaly to travel of 3, 6, and 9. So the more you're aware of these things, the more you can understand how you can get the concept of being alive. Alive. I'm alive. 5 alive, you know, with the robot. Right? How Stephen Gutberg was telling him a joke. And he started laughing, but he's still a robot, but he understands because he had a connection to its emotion, to the joke, right? Where's the punchline? You get the punchline. It's soul identified. Soul identified. I am alive. Pinch yourself. You're alive, right? Nothing can be taken away from you. So trust yourself. Trust your thoughts. Trust your values. Trust everything around you, right? Stop playing the game with the ego, because that's what the ego wants to do. You're fighting the ego every single day. It's a game. That's all it is. Just understand the game. Short circuit. Thank you. That was good. I'm alive. 5 alive. You know? Perfect example. It was just a robot, but it doesn't matter. But once you have a soul, that cannot be taken away from you because that is you in all ways and forms. Okay? You just have to figure out how to do these things and how to control your ego, the ego and its line position, right? Getting out of the maybes, getting out of the negatives. If you're negative, fine, but go back into center. Why am I upset? When is this going to happen? Where is this going to be? What do I do next? How do I get out of this? Right? You all have to question your values. Question yourself inside until you find the balance with its vibration. Okay? Because the negative cycle is going to be fighting you every single day. Okay? Because this is just a spiritual level of a fight inside of you. Nothing else and nothing more. You just have to figure these things out, right? So it's a commonality here, people, and this is the position where we have to get into more unity and consciousness and really come together, right? Come together. Perfect example when it came into with the Grinch that stole Christmas, with the Yahoos and all that. I like to bring this up because it's a very powerful movie, how it comes into, you know, if you look at every movie, every animated movie has a message. I truly understand that he took all the presents away, but they didn't care. They just stood around the tree and started singing, Yahoo, 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 Yahoo. They didn't care. And the Grinch was on the top and he's, hey, you got all the presents. Hey, I've taken everything away. Hey, what just happened? His heart expanded 3 times the size. Woke up, right? Sound the alarm. Da, 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 da. Goes down. What does it do? Gets back to all the presents. Do you understand what we're coming into? The conceptual line position to its line activation core is its heart. The ascension of the heart, the truth of the heart, the following of the heart, the leading of the heart, the positive and negative of the heart. Heart is everything through its connection, and the dream is everything through the ascension. Okay? So you guys have been living this for decades and decades and decades until you wake up. As soon as I woke up, things were starting to click in very quickly for me because I already knew. I just wasn't aware. When I was a kid, I was just flying every time in my dream, and it was so real. I said, is this real? I was trying to figure these things out, and I said to myself, well, if this transformation is real, what's going to happen next? So I started to leave the negative cycle, and I wanted to know more. I wanted to understand, is this a scavenging hunt? Am I going for Easter eggs? What's happening next? So I got more excited. I got more balanced. I got more in the mind because I started with martial arts. And that gave me foundation of balance and poise and tremendous, tremendous clarity of what I was doing through my meditation. Okay, so you can be awake, but not awake. You can be aware, but not aware. You can be focused, but not focused. You see how that goes? That's the negative. That's the life system that we will keep living every single day we get up in the morning. It's up to you to balance out your positions and what you want in life. So you have to balance the ego. And it has to do with the thoughts, because that's the creation to your reality. Okay, you can live on the negative side or you can live on the positive side. You could evolve or you could destruct. Whatever you want to do. Nobody's going to tell you to do what you don't want to do. You do what you want to do. Everything else is all hearsay. Everything else is connections to hot air. What do you do with hot air from a balloon? Pop. Okay, so who are you listening to? Everybody else or yourself? That's the problem with humanity, is they don't listen to themselves inside. They rather listen to everything outside. That is true. What is true? Me. Right here. I'm standing right here. I'm true. Can't take that away from me. Can't take my soul away from me. It's next to impossible unless you allow it. Okay? So we have to fight that. And the only way to do that is to understand how to use our thoughts for the greater good. Once you understand your conceptual positions and you can change your system inside, you can give back to humanity. And then you see a massive, massive change inside and outside of you. Now you come across a lot of things. You're going to miss a lot of friends because they're at low vibration, but you're going to gain a lot of knowledge and a lot of intelligence, and you're going to see new friends. That's how I started off. You lose and then you gain. That's life. That's how it works. Life is unpredictable, right? But life has a pattern. We just have to understand the pattern. And it all has to be in a modulation of the center of a frequency tone positions, especially if you want to communicate with people at high, medium, or low levels. If you don't understand yourself, how are you going to communicate with anything outside you? You're going to put yourself in positions, right? And you're going to get more depressed. So not only are you worrying about yourself, but you're worrying about their problems. So their problems become your problems. And then you forget about yourself. And I say, well, I don't know. What am I doing now? I'm going to concentrate on my relationship. All I care about is this person. People come across that. That's understandable, but they have to understand how to get the strength inside themselves, get the perseverance, how to break everything through the past of the trauma that you have inside you. It's the hardest thing that you contain in your positions. You can't stay in the present location. Space doesn't stay in the past. It stays in the presence of the here and now. It doesn't have a past. It knows its past, but it doesn't live the past. Okay? Try to make this easier for you guys so you truly understand how to use the conception of the brain and the mind, how it works in all ways and forms when you get up every single morning, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You are the one that puts yourself in that position and how you want to see your life. Okay? You have the control to do these things inside and out, because everything out is a reflection on what you see through perception. Okay? And it all starts with, what does it start with? Very basic. What does it all start with? Anybody? Jeopardy's calling. What does it start with? I know you guys are really paying attention. It's very good. But sometimes today I'm into the heart, right? Meditation. So hopefully you guys wrote down your positive and negatives, because it's important. You live it every single day. You just have to learn how to basically more channel inside yourself. Okay? Yeah. So let's get into your questions. Whoa, you guys got a lot of questions here. Great. Okay. I couldn't keep an exact count, but I was 25. Okay, that's a good start. Good start. Honesty is the best policy. Collected buckets of thoughts, very clear. When negative thoughts pop, good. So when they pop them back in the center, right? But work it out first. Work it out. Why am I going negative? What just happened? What was the switch? Time switch positions here. Okay, you're switching time. Okay. Locking mechanism of time position locations is interferes with channel line system to body track line system to describe positions of time. That's what's happening right now. Okay. So the magnetics and everything through time position is going to fast swing your cycles and open up more dimensions of doors to your thought positions of time through your dreams. That's what's happening now. So my thoughts have been really good because I've been focusing on my inner self. Great. But the negative thoughts, when I'm second guess myself, more inner working. See, that's it. She knows she needs to do the more inner knowing of what she needs to do with the negative. So really communicate. Like I said, Frankie, fear. What fears the most? I did write this stuff down. Was having a great time imagining last night once I moved past my feelings. All my negative was connected to feeling poorly, hot flashes. See, the thing is, too, because you guys are high division, you're in 25, 30, 40 chakras, this is extremely, extremely high rise. I wouldn't put you there otherwise if I didn't know you can handle it. But you're very powerful individuals through its connection. So try to understand that the more you high rise to your chakras, the more the negative cycle comes in through thought. So you have to learn how to control that more through balance, because you're going to get hot flashes, you're going to get higher vibration lines. You know, it's all going to have its reaction, right? So the higher you go, the more it gets stronger in space and time of travel. The higher you go, the more acceleration you go fast through rotation, right? So all my negative was connected to feeling poorly. Yeah. Short circuit. Yep. Thank you for reminding me about that movie. Good morning, everyone. Carla. Make sure you guys had your coffee. Most important. I had an altercation the past weekend. Someone called me. Okay. And I got into a bit trouble. See, that's okay. The thing is, it's hard to avoid these things, especially if you don't know how to communicate with that person, because they don't understand you through vibration. That's why there's a conflict. Okay. So now the ego's getting in, and now it's trying to manipulate you just through conversation. These things happen. So what do you do? What do you do? Go back and center, calm yourself, get into Jofeel, get into the tranquility, get into the serenity, right? Look at them and laugh, look at them and smile. I said, well, what are you smiling at? I don't know, but I know why. So truly understand that, and that's reverse psychology in a person, and they'll just walk away because they want to fight you. They want to get into the fuel. That's what they need, fuel to keep them going. That's what I'm saying. I got an altercation with somebody on the bus, right? 5-6 years ago. And it did a lot of conflict because I was trying to get balance with my energies. When you go into your transformation for the first time, you're coming into the light and it's affecting everybody through connection. They're not aware of it, right? You are, but you just don't know how to control it. That's all it is. You just don't know how to control your vibration and you don't understand your connections to your E-field positions. That's the manipulation right there. So they're manipulating your conversation through vibration. And they just want to feel you, right? Once they feel you, once they get what they need, they move on. Okay? Those are spiritual walkers. So we're all ingent line connections to hydraulics of everything through spiritual form. There's so many levels and atmosphere positions. Starting with the grounds that you live on, the negative line system, to its positive positions. There's always going to be positive and negative in your life. You just have to learn how to control it through perseverance. Never give up. Always move forward. That's what we're coming into, right? Moving forward on all ways of communications to situations that you get into. Okay? Don't allow you to defeat your purpose. Keep going forward. Keep doing this. Keep doing that, right? So, I mean, look at the power and responsibility I have. And I come across this every day, right? So it's amazing, names and, sticks and stones. We follow up on that, but names on them, sticks and stones will never hurt me. I mean, that comes across every single day, but it's all about the balance of you being calm, right? Because they're getting there. Here, high interference, so I got to channel them down because it's interference in channel line systems. But if you get a true understanding what it is, especially if somebody's at a higher division in you, higher location, higher chakra system, higher intelligent position, higher dimensional line system, higher activation light center, higher program setting, then you got a huge problem, huge problem, right? Because they can scan you and they know where you are. So they can be nice or they can go the other way, depending. Everybody has a certain day level that they're at. They say, hey man, don't push me, right? Talk to the hand, you know what I mean? So if you get into that, it's conflict. Hey, and they're loving it, they love it. Come on, bring it on. Let's put on the gloves, right? Why? Who's going to win? Nobody ever wins, right? Like with tic-tac-toe, it's always a tie, right? If you think you won, maybe you won the battle, but there's still the war going on, right? So what are you winning? Where's the justification there? Where's the truth? Where's the follow? It's all about the ego. That's all it is. It's the controlling system from one individual to the next. And it all has to do with adaptations and how you see yourself and how you perceive yourself and how you want to handle this and how you want to handle that, right? So all you're doing is drawing a crowd. Next thing you know, you're on YouTube. Hey, look at this. I got this guy on video. Right? So never think you're alone. There's always witnesses. So be cautious in what you do. Be cautious in what you say. Right? Be cautious on your thoughts and what you create. Okay? So, I mean, this is life, guys, and this is how life works, right? But it's all about you. It's not about them. It's about you. If you can balance inside you, you control everything outside. It's a process. I still have to work at it too. I work at it every single day with you guys, right? I have to find a way to balance myself with each and every one of you through your vibrations. And it's extremely hard because I'm extremely high rise in vibration. Well, it's not just vibration. I'm in the atmospheres now. I'm in the computer line connections. So it's all computers. And that's all I hear every day. I don't tell you these things, just like you don't tell me certain things. And it's about having skeletons in the closet. How much do we give to one person? You don't give them everything. I'll give you a piece of the cake, but I'm not going to give you the whole cake. So that's the mystery. You want to keep the mystery going, right? That's what you want to do. You don't want to give everybody everything, right? That's another way of energy manipulation. You're doing that to yourself, right? I know because I've done that in the past. I had an ego. I was cocky. I was conceited. Didn't take me anywhere. Didn't take me anywhere but destruction inside my mechanisms. Then I realized what I did wrong, okay, was nothing. Nothing. It was the ego. The ego is extremely powerful. It's the intelligence inside you. Okay? So whatever you do, you learn from. It's all about experiencing, right? The physical system is nothing but experience. That's all it is. Okay? So I don't like it when people smile at me after an altercation. You guys, but see, that's the thing. It's hard to do these things because you're not sure where you're at. So you have to stand tall and just look at them and smile, say, yeah, you're right. You're right. Walk away. Don't give them the benefit of the doubt here, because that's what they want. That's what they want. And that's how a fight is altercated, right? So nobody ever, ever, ever wins a fight. Okay? Because they're always trying to understand where they are through their ego. Okay? Because they got problems. Everybody's got problems, especially if you catch somebody on a bad day. They lost their job. Of course, there's going to be an altercation. Of course, they're going to be angry. And of course, they're going to take it out on you. They'd rather take it out on you because they don't know you. Right? And if they take it out on their girlfriend or boyfriend, or husband, or their wives, or their children, it gets personal. It doesn't get personal when you're altercating with somebody that you don't know. Okay? So it's no win or loss here. You can scream at the top of your lungs, but why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? See? And I was trying to figure out, and this is where you have to get into your benefits of yourself and how much you are treated inside your positions and how you can destroy everything through your thoughts inside your mechanism of time. So when you're traveling through your thoughts, you have to understand what you're doing with your ego, right? Because your ego can do so many things and manipulation inside you, and you don't even know it. You're not even aware. It can change you. Like, oh, I'm in a great mood, and then I hear bad news. Okay, you hear bad news, but you have to find a way to center. So no matter the situation, as you try to make the best out of anything, especially with actors, if they get bad news, they do the scene and they move on and they go to their trailer. Okay? They don't put that in their head. Okay? I did a movie way back, and that was a totally different time for me. But I found out that my grandmother was in the hospital, and I had to do a very, very dramatic soliloquy, an acting scene with somebody. And it's very hard for me to do, but it gave me strength, it gave me character, and it made me cry. So that gave me something that I needed to complete the scene. So I used that as fuel. Now that's acting. You just got to find a way to control it and not manipulate it to other people. Okay? And that's all done through the psychological or the psychosis of you. And that's how you calculate, modify, and take anything out of the equation. Because you're all connected to your formulas. Right? So just wanted to share that with you guys. You know, how you can do these things that can benefit you in certain ways, right? I was on X-Men, and I really enjoyed that film. I played a soldier, and they made it rain for 6-7 hours. Back then, it was a lot different. And I asked one of the main actors, the kid, I said, well, the director wanted him to cry. And he did it really well. And I just went up to him after his performance. I came up to him and said, how did you do that? How do you make yourself cry? Well, I was just thinking of something sad, like my cat passing or my dog passing. So it's all about understanding how you can use this for character and build it up. You're not manipulating, you're fueling. So your performance will be better. But it's just you of a soliloquy. It's not you arguing with somebody else. There's no manipulation there. There's no altercation. The only altercation is you, but you balance yourself after the performance. You don't stay. A lot of actors stay in their performance. Okay, they'd rather be an actor and not be themselves because they don't know the difference. Okay, it's make-believe. That's all acting is. You're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, especially when it comes into documentary. I know that because I'm a professional actor, right? So when you put yourself in these positions, what are you doing to yourself? You don't want to manipulate yourself inside. You want to control the mechanisms of your ego, okay? And you want to do the same thing when you're having altercations with people outside of humanity, okay? So if somebody comes across you and say, "What are you looking at?" I say, don't say anything or just walk away. As soon as you say something, they want that. That's the vibration. That's manipulation. So we all have to understand how to control our systems before we do things, because there's consequences after you do something, especially when it comes into relationships and domestics. 75-80% is domestics, especially with the enforcements. Okay, they deal with this every single day. All right, so we have to look at a way to control the mechanism inside so we can use our time capacitor positions to our locations and stop getting connections, okay, to the ego, right? Because it can trap us. And if it traps us, we get lost. And if we get lost, we get more angry. So now you're building more ego each day, each day, each day, each day. And you're creating vibration going faster and faster and faster. And there's a huge problem if the negative cycle goes forward. Remember I was saying it goes backwards? Well, that's where it starts. But once it understands how to go forward, you have a huge problem now. You have a huge problem because now you created a whole new negative of you going forward. And that's how I correct you guys through your time positions. The 3, 6, 9, you got start lines. 12 is here. Okay, 3 is over here. 9 is over here. So it's all about time position, time frame, time location, activation to your guideline centers. So that's a true understanding where you don't want to go into because it's all propaganda. You're putting that on your position. Now you're creating a negative cycle. And now you're creating dark matter, which is really bad because you're creating a wormhole. You're creating dark. Okay? Dark holes. Black hole. That's what a black hole is. Once the central line connections and the negative cycle goes in full rotation, you're creating a black hole for yourself. And that's hard to get out of because you just created something in space. And that's what I do with every day, every single day with you guys, because you guys are in a lot of black holes. And a lot of people create them more than ever. You got more than one black hole. So you've been living this for 40, 50 years. No wonder you can't move forward. You got to close the black holes. Same with meditation. You got to close the portals. All right? You might think I'm crazy, but I'm not. But the understanding is the reason why you're not getting these things is because you have the portals open and you don't know how to close them. And it's all done through the mind, especially when you're in your lights. Okay, so dark matter is created. Now, if you get lost in transition, that means you forgot something. Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. You go through a wormhole. You go through a dark hole. You go through a black hole, right? It goes through the other end. So that's something that you just missed, something that, you know, that doesn't register, something that you don't lost transition, lost translation. That's what dark matter is. But everything is connected to you inside. It's to understand the space inside you because you can trap yourself or you can involve yourself moving forward. Okay? This is an extremely, extremely, extremely powerful video for you guys. It's all about centering your system every single day. Okay? So, any tips on shielding ourselves from other energy, emotion when you can't lead? Yeah, reverse psychology. Don't give them the fuel. And that's what I do. Came right at me. Like I said, you start, right? I look right at him and smile. I didn't say anything. So they're not going to stand there because they're waiting for you to, you know, manipulate the situation or the altercation or anything in that system. Because being in a fight, you have to find a way to get out of it. It's using the mind, right? Sometimes you can't use the mind. Sometimes you're in that connections and you got 2 or 3 or 4 different altercations. I've been up against that. So how do you get out of the situation? Sometimes you have to protect yourself, right? It depends on what's going on with the situation, right? Like you don't go to a bar and end up touching someone's guy's girlfriend, just because you think, oh, yeah, I'm tough, right? Well, let's see how tough you are, right? So not only that, but you're in a fight with the boyfriend. That's all done through you. That's manipulation. You're manipulating the situation, think you're all tough guy. You lost the fight. Not only that, you lost the girl. Now what? Now you got bumps and bruises. Bumps and bruises heal, but that was just stupid. That's just crowd entertaining, right? I've been in those situations. I've been a bouncer. I've been a bodyguard. So I know all these things, right? So it's all about being calm in every situation. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. And it all has to do with the ego. Okay? The ego is extremely, extremely powerful intelligence because it's all the mechanisms of you that controls everything outside because it affects everything. You go outside angry, everything around you is going to be angry because you're creating it around its position. You know what I mean? You are creating everything through behavior. You're creating everything through thoughts. You're creating everything through pattern. So if I got angry and I went outside, not only I would change the atmospheres and everything around the position, but everybody around me would change their argument line conditions. They'd be fighting with each other. That's how powerful I am. So if I understand the manipulations of the atmospheric line conditions, the water interference position, anything that's around is going to change the vibration line system to its gravity position location. Why? Why am I doing this to myself? So I'm not just affecting everything inside, I'm affecting everything outside around people. And that's how powerful it is and what you can do, what you do and what you don't do, what you say and what you don't say. It all comes into that position to understand that connections. Okay? So you're putting yourself in that situation, nobody else. If you're in a great mood, that's great. You got great vibration, great vibes. You go outside, everything just blossoms. And then you start communicating and everybody around you, because you understand, if you have an E field and you're not aware of these things and you're in your light, there's a huge problem. You got to work on your meditation in the mind, your thought. So the more you understand that through calculation, everything at the grounds will change. Everything at the powers of the center positions of you, through the heart and the travel will change. Everything the atmosphere positions will change. Your thoughts are everything through space and time. As soon as you walk outside, you're changing everything through your thought of emotion. And you're creating it, nobody else. So everybody that's in your cycle, okay, is going to affect you. Jobs, entertainment, kids, husband, wives, children, boyfriends, girlfriends, doesn't matter. You're creating it. They're not doing it. So if you're aware of these things, you're manipulating the situation because you know how to control the situation. Now that's negative, especially if you're aware of these things and you're in your light. Now that's dark. Okay? You're doing that to yourself because you already know. So don't do that. You know what you're doing. You know how to protect your lights. You know you're in a high division light connections. You're in that television positions. So why are you doing it? Because you can. So whatever you do comes back at you. All right. That's what I'm saying. The universe is trying to get to know you in a way where you can basically center your system to its vibration line system. Put yourself in the positive system of thought. Okay? Because you have a cycle of people that you have inside. You're protecting that. You're going to be cautious who you bring in. Okay? Because if you're not aware of these things, that one person can change your cycle, can change your rotation, and put you in the dark matter position. And now what? Now what are you going to do? Right? So you all have to be cautious on what you do through your connections of your thought patterns. Everything is a pattern. You just have to understand the pattern of people, pattern of the behavior, pattern of their vibration, pattern of their rotation, pattern of their cycle line connections, pattern of their action light connections, pattern of their chakras, pattern of their lights, right? All start somewhere, right? So you have to truly understand how to do these things. It's important to you, okay? Because it's important to everything else. And it's also important to everything that's going on with the universe, right? The universe wants to understand you more. But if you keep going with your ego, what's happening? What is happening with you to that connection, right? You are the only one that's trapping your connections. Nobody else is doing that. So if the ego's playing every single day, well, it's winning. It's winning, right? So not only you live in the negative cycle, but everybody else is too. All because of your change. All because of your change. So what do you want to do? Move forward, right? So how's everybody doing so far? You have any more questions? I can help you with that about understanding how to get e-field positions or anything in line connection. Truly understand how to do these things, guys. You know? My sister took out her frustrations on me today. I've been doing breath work to calm down. That's great, and that's what you want to keep doing. So, yeah. But see, everybody gets mad, and they don't even know why, because they can't move forward with their life. So what do? They take it out on you, right? I mean, that's totally normal. But what they're not aware of is they don't understand the vibration. They don't understand the connection to their system, and that's the separation. Okay, because they're creating that through their cycle. Everybody has their own cycle of friends. Everybody has their own cycle of family. Everybody has their own cycle of themselves. Everybody has their own cycle of meditation. You just have to understand how to balance these things with vibration. Or you're going to manipulate the whole situation just by one word. Okay? By one sentence is even worse. By one frame, one story. Right? So we come across that every day when you see people that are negative this, negative that. So obviously, where are they going with this? So now it's connecting to me, it's connecting to them, it's connecting over there, it's creating negative vibrations, creating negative portals. It's opening up everything, especially if that person is in light. So if you can identify people and they're in dimensional time, that's great. If not, there's a problem. So you have negative cycles entering you, negative vibrations entering you, and you have no idea why. But if you meditate, then you understand the situation and its connection. Okay, hold on. So we all understanding a little bit better how powerful it is to get in that concept? But see, we all get into that. We all get into that. But don't let that take over you, because the thing is, you have to understand how to use the psychological, how people are put in position for themselves, because they're in the same situation, but in a different program. Okay? Everybody has what they want in life, and they all want to strive to what they want to get. And they're going to do everything they need to do to move forward and not have anything get in their way. Okay? So what I mean is that you have to push yourself forward, but know how to control the system. Control everything through digital line, control everything through teleportation, to control everything through telewave, to control your times positions, anything through your activation light connections. Really control your system inside of vibration. As soon as you change the negatives, it all goes chaotic, especially if you feel it more and more. Once you get angry, what you get to say, okay, why am I angry? What just happened? What is the switch here? I was okay 5 minutes ago, but now I'm angry. It's all about behavior change. You get some bad news, that's fine. Just try to find the center. Try to calm yourself. Get into meditation. Get into everything is going to be okay. Central line connection is good. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm going to go back into my center line connections. You find a way to communicate with yourself. This protects you through energy. This protects you through lights, especially when you're in your lights. Okay, if you want to understand how to protect yourself when you're around people, these things can be applicable. You can understand how to do it more, right? I can show you through your own intelligence. Your intelligence is trying to understand you through space and time of shape. It's trying to understand you through the E-fields. It's trying to understand you through chakras. It's trying to understand you through thought positions. It's trying to understand you through travel. It's trying to understand you through community. Right? It knows what it has because it's you. It's just a higher form of you, of intelligence, trying to understand you in the physical system. And that's the integration of balance of communication. Okay? So, since listening to you, I'm able to become self-aware, more thoughts, negative, and I catch it myself, immediately think of things I'm grateful for. Positive. Great. That's great. Beth. It's great to see new people. There's a lot to be learned from acting. Yep. Acting, that's how I got out of being shy. I was more of an introvert, more in the mind. I've always been in the mind every single day. So it's all has to do with the psychological system, the psychosis positions, understand the astrology connections where I always felt that I was in space every single day. I live in the mind. It's all about the Pisces. If you read the astrology of Pisces, half the time they're in the mind, most of the time. So that is a huge part of you, but that's not all of you. That's just a scripture of you. That's just a phrase of you. That's not all of you. That's just an astrology sign through its connection, through its behavioral line connections of what you are. That's not who you are through light, through the heart. So you have to follow everything through the astrology, because you could be on Mars, you can be on Venus, you can be on high position vector line connections, you can be on this side, you can be on this side, you can be attached to everything. Okay, that's great, but don't confuse the alignments here. Just truly understand how powerful you are inside of communication. It's just balancing your life, everything that you face, everything you do, everything you touch, everything you're aware of. The more you're aware, the more you become conscious of everything, right? So. But yeah, that's how I started off. And then from there, I was just everybody's looking at me, right? I thought it pretty fascinating where, this is incredible. I'm starting to break free, right? Breaking free from everything, and then I started my acting and I started getting better and better and better and better. And that's why we go to acting school. Acting school is not to act. Acting school is to break free, especially from everything that you're scared of. It's very important to understand it because a lot of people don't know themselves. Like if you go up to a stage and you get people looking at you, you're like, okay, what now? So basically you can't stop and go, right? You have to keep going and keep going. And that's the thing with theater and TV. TV, there's just a monitor. You can get the script and do it over again, right? But with theater, you can't stop. You got to keep going, keep going, keep going. You keep making mistakes. You get up, keep going, keep going, keep going, right? So the acting gets better over time through communication. Okay? Acting is a behavior. Acting is everything through your life. That's what acting is. It's not taking an acting class, I'm going to be a better actor. No, you're just breaking free, right? And you're coming better with perception, and there's motivated speakers. A lot of people don't know how to get on a stage and how to talk to a crowd. That's stage fright, right? So it's understanding how to break free from the stage frights. Okay. So I'm just sharing something with you when I started off with my acting, because that's what I was trying to figure out with myself. And there's a little exercise that you can do too, right? But it's all about teamwork and how we all come together. We sit in a circle, right? And we spend like 5 minutes getting to know each other. A lot of people don't even know how to do that. They don't even know where to start, right? And that's a problem right there, is that we've lost communication with each other. That's the separation, right? It's easier when you're communicating with one-on-one. But when you have a group of people in a circle and somebody that you don't know, and you turn face to face and you have to say something to them, what are you going to say? Nice day, isn't it? You know what I mean? You get confused. You get confused to the brain because now you're communicating to somebody that you don't know. That's what I'm saying, is you have to get into the fluctuation of interference to get into the pattern of division of balance with people. And it's all done through acting, right? Acting is not talking. Acting is done through emotion, body. This is acting. That's acting. Acting is not just talking. So you understand how to use the talking and the body at the same time. And that's what we have to get into when we come across these things in a circle. So you're going to come across that, right? And you're going to know how, or not know how to do these things, right? Because the brain is limited and the mind is free. And that's what we have to come across. These are the time positions that we're coming into. Better communications and less separation with this population. Okay? So my aunt came up to a drunk and attempted you come across those things, but you got to find a way to get out of those. It really is, because it's fuel on fuel. You don't want to put yourself in that conditions. So, a lot of people just keep getting angry. So you want to keep fueling that, or do you want to find a way to use the reverse psychology in that person? If you're not at their level, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you can't talk them down, right? You either walk away, okay, or you just avoid the situation, right? Or you find a way to calm your center, try to find out what's wrong with them. It's all psychological, because they're going through something very traumatic. So you got to get to the center of people. And that's done through the soul. I know this because I've done it already. Just because you heal somebody doesn't mean they're healed. They have to know that they want to be healed. And that's the believing system, knowing that they need help. That's the soul identification. I need help. Help me. Right? So that's another way of looking at the transition. If you want to be helped, it can be helped. But if you're being stubborn, you can still be helped. But it's a lot harder for you. Right? And it's more of a reaction for you too, right? Because you're getting skeptical now, because you're putting yourself, whoa, you got a wall up, right? So it's all about not down the wall right away, but just opening up the door just a little bit and looking inside. And the more you open it up, whoa, you see the light. Now you're seeing the light. Are you going to go through? Well, I'm not sure yet. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay, if you're not ready, eventually you will have to be ready. So what do? Motivate yourself to go through. Right? Find a way to communicate with your inner self where you can just follow through that door and not worry. Okay? And know that everything is going to be okay. That's what we have to come across. We really have to channel inside and really communicate to our soul, ourselves. That's the shadow work. Now, that's just the beginning, but there's a lot more to it. It's all the psychological view through damage that you created over the years through your thoughts. Okay, so that's why I wanted you guys to write down the positive and negative systems of you. Okay, so if you need to work on your field more, yeah, you can DM me on my TikTok, or you can go to my email. I can give you answers to that, or I can help you, or I can upgrade your programs so I can put you in higher e-fields if you're not aware of these things. Because if you're in lights and you're in 40 chakras and you're not aware of your light, there's a problem. So you either got too much in the physical and not enough in the intelligence, and it confuses the physical more because the lights are open more. So it can go either way. So the ego has to be in the center all the time, all the time. It can't be off left. It can't be off right. It has to be in the center. Okay. So, but see, that's it too. And she sees you moving forward, and that kind of freaks her out, right? So that's totally normal. And she will find a way to balance that out. So, and that's the thing too, is when you go through the healing, you have to actually heal that person too, because they're not at your level. So you got one spouse here, one spouse here. Okay. You have to be at the same level to communicate. You have to, because you understand each other, because you have to be at the same vibration through each other, right? And it's important to understand these things because they're still in their own program, but you're in a new program. Okay. So you have to look at that, right? Everybody goes through that. Everybody goes through that. Yeah. So, because I've known I've created much dark matter in the past through negative cycles. Okay. So Carla's aware of these things, which is great, but she doesn't know how to get out of it. Or does she? See, that's a question, right? So this, you got to go into more questions of yourself. And that's again with the positive and negative, how you wake up every day knowing you can put yourself more in the positive, knowing that the negative's still there. Just don't live the negative. That's all. Okay? Because it's going to confuse everything that you're doing every single time you get up in the morning. Okay? Because you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it, and it's the ego. Right? You want to get out of the ego and get into the eco. You want to get into the AI. Okay? You want to move forward. Right? So, knowing and doing is what you want to be at. Okay? Not thinking. Thinking is hesitation. The anticipation is not good because you don't know what's going to happen next. That's the worst thing when you come into anticipation. Okay? Because you're not aware. Oh, somebody's bullying me. Somebody's bothering me. Well, how do you avoid the situation? What do you do? Reverse psychology. Try to get into their mind position. Try to understand their connections. Try to understand their feelings. Try to reach their soul. You can't reach their soul. So if they start swinging, what are you going to do? Protect yourself. You have no other choice. Some things you can avoid and some things you can't avoid. That's life, right? But the first thing you got to do is not to put yourself in this situation. Because once you put yourself in a situation, there's always consequences. And you can't change that. You have to adapt to that and move on. Know that everything is going to be okay, right? Because the universe is always watching you, all the time. People make mistakes. It's what you do with your mistakes to make yourself better. Not worse, better. Okay? So that's a big tip. So there's a lot to learn, eh? Especially when you come into the ego and how important it is to understand everything through time frame, position, locations. Amazing when we come across these things. Okay, so really concentrate on that. So basically, I think we'll stop there. There's a lot going on right now. I'm getting a lot of emotion positions to a lot of people, but it's great though because it surfaces more and more. Once you get into more of your heart, you start crying for all the greater good, and it just breaks free. It breaks the walls. Oh, I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying, but I'm happy. That's a good thing. So you're breaking free, becoming more of who you are and who you want to be, who you want to become. All right, and then you become I am this and I am that. And then you come more into control of how to balance your positions. right? To all situations that you come across. Okay? All right. But have a fantastic day. Adios.